Welcome to 5 More Minutes, useful videos in about 5 minutes that support the teaching and learning of all students. I'm your host, Shelly Moore. Today's episode is called Decriminalizing Supports. So today, I am gifting you with a poem. May I present to you a 5 More Minutes video in Susonian verse. Every morning of every day, what supports do you rely on to help you along the way? I wake up in the morning, my phone honks, chimes, and blasts my faves as I struggle to get out of bed to music horns and crashing waves. Our coffee brews with the push of a button or sometimes on its own, with programmable toasters and microwaved eggs as we look at the schedules of our day on the phone. We get into our car with a keyless remote and our seat adjusts to our height. We program our GPS device and then choose the guiding voice that's just right. We have options of radio, podcasts, or books to listen to as we drive, or we pick up a friend on the way to our work to chat with as we offer a ride. We talk to our colleagues about questions and topics throughout our day as we work. We bring and share snacks to those who may have forgot and are hungry while they do paperwork. At the end of those extra hard weeks, or maybe the last few days before Christmas break, you might even catch us with a beverage in hand or a little extra something in our shake. Now let's change our perspective to those who are scholars, students who are very much like us, just a little bit smaller. Students who, like me, had to sit on their hands so they wouldn't count with their fingers to make sure it was math they could understand. Or those who are only allowed to show their learning in one way rather than offering choice or whether they want to go or if they want to stay. Using calculators or spell check are all seen as them cheating. They aren't allowed to talk to others and must be in rows while they're seating. Trying to monitor supports for all these different kids just makes us weary, forgetting we all have a reader and scribe in our pockets and we all know her as Siri.
Hello, Shelly Moore.
We are running around trying to get to everyone we can. Rather than building in supports from the start, let's help everyone with the plan. We will never have enough staffing, funding, or time if we continue to retrofit supports instead of building it in as part of the design. But in order to do that, we have to let go of the thinking that supports are only for a few kids and they don't have to prove that they're sinking, and teaching instead when they need a support to regulate their learning in others so they know how to push themselves further instead of relying on their mothers. Let's look at winter tires for the perfect example, a support we in the North use to this day. Between October and March, we change our tires over so that when it's icy, our car does not stray. I can guarantee you a mechanic would not say, "Winter tires!" Shh, someone might hear. Do you really want someone to know that you have them? Let's hope they have plugs in their ears. I can also bet that you wouldn't hear a tire shop owner complain that getting tires for winter should be something you prove you really need before you get chains. The best of all, and it still makes me laugh, is thinking about winter tire reviving, imagining if someone said to us, "Forget it, you'll lose the skill of bald tire driving." It's ridiculous to think about because the opposite is true. It's knowing when, not if you need tires, and then just trying to get through. Pushing through winter conditions, even if just for one day. Can you imagine the Coquihalla Highway if people actually drove this way? Now, if you see a driver with studs on in June, this might be a conversation upcoming. Or maybe they just moved to Canada and heard rumors to get ready because winter is coming. But guess what? It doesn't matter because I can definitely tell you that no one's been hurt by too many supports, but there's definitely been too many harmed by too few. Supports for all, this is the key. Let's not be our kids' education sequel, where supports weren't allowed and we weren't taught to believe that fair is not always equal. I will leave you with just one last story to remind you that support is not a bad thing. A boy named Zach came up to me in grade 8 and told me something that zinged. He said, "Miss Moore, you were my favorite teacher, but I definitely hated your class. because you made me believe for a second that I might have been good at math. And then I got to grade 9. It put me back in my place. It made me remember that this is all just a race I've never been good at, a race that I've never won, that school's where I fail, not where I have fun. Think of your kids now. What kind of teacher do you want to be? One that supports them to believe in themselves, or make them feel that they must cheat and plea for their grades, for their pass, for their needs to be met. Who's in control now? Not the kids, I suspect. Let's support them from the start with choice, options, and plans. So when they look over their shoulder, they see a sweeper van. Let's teach kids the skills and decriminalize supports they need to prevail. They will self-regulate their learning and get what they need before they fail.